as always, I like to start with our little guidelines so that we know what we're doing for our proportions, all that stuff. So, especially with these real estate drawings, it's especially helpful. So, I want to look at the drawing we have for our little horse. Now we can kind of see that there's a couple shapes going on. So we have our horse's head right here. It's more like an oval. And then we have the end of the nose right here. And then they're connected to make one big horse head. And then of course there is the neck for our little horse. So this one isn't going to be, I think, as complicated as the puppy, which I know you didn't do, but I think this will be a good one. So, how I want to start with this one is I want to start with sort of this oval shape in the middle of our paper. Doesn't have to be perfect, just ovally enough. I hope you can see what I'm doing there. Just ovally enough. All right, so we've got our oval here. Now, next thing we want to do, like I said, our horse has sort of this, it's almost a circular shape at the end. I'm going to draw another little circle that's going to be about this far from our other circle. Well, this is more of an oval. This is more of a circle. So we'll make sure it's not too far, too close, but just right. So now we have our two basic circles. We can already kind of tell where this is going to go. So from there, I would like to just connect both of our circles with the line ever so lightly, because we're definitely going to fix this up a little bit. But ever so lightly, we're going to put a line just like that. We're going to connect at the bottom, just like that. So we've got a line here and a line here very lightly, ever so lightly. Now we've definitely got a good basic shape for our horse's head. Now I want to come down and sort of draw where our neck is going to be. So from about right here, we're just going to draw almost this curved line down just a little bit. I'm keeping it very light so that if I want to change up any of this, I can later on. Well, don't worry, we'll do the ears in a little bit, but I want to sort of take a horse's neck and we're going to come down like this. All right. It was kind of tricky to sort of get the neck to look right. You want it to be wider at the bottom because that is the way the horse's neck are. They're sort of, they get wider as they go down towards their body. So is I sort of want to just put another little oval, I guess you could say, for where I feel like our ears are going to go. So I'm just going to do a quick little oval, sort of sticking up like that, right there. And then we want to go on the other side and do the same thing, another quick little oval standing up. We've got our ears. We've got all of our basic shapes for our little horse here. So now I want to go through and start sort of refining some of the shapes for a horse. So I don't want to get too dark over here because we're going to have the mane and we're going to do the ears, but I am going to start over here. Basically going to start drawing where the eye would be on the other side of our horse. So there's going to be a little bump, a little off of our guideline, just like that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is start from here and I'm going to bring this line all the way like this. But I want to make a little bit of a bump at the end of our nose here. So this line comes all the way down, follows our guideline, but then it makes a little bump. So we're going to continue a line down and sort of make the rest of our horse's chin. And our horse is going to have another bump underneath like this. So this end part of our horse's mouth kind of looks a little blobby because he's got his nose and then his chin and his mouth. So it's not going to be a total circle, but the circle's there to kind of help us with these thighs. Now we can come around. Again, I'm not drawing too lightly because we still have all this stuff to draw because he has little reins on his face or, yeah, I guess that's what you would call them, the reins of a horse. So we got to draw all those belt buckles and all that stuff. So I'm not drawing anything too dark just yet. But I'm bringing this line over here. And now horses always have sort of this, this jaw, sort of this chin to them. So I want to draw our horse with his little cheekbone like that. That sort of sticks out. All right, so we have our horse cheek. I think now we can almost move on to our mane here. So I want to come up and around here. We've got the ears. I'm just going off a little bit. Now, our mane, you can really draw your mane however you want, but the mane on this horse is sort of sticking off his face just a little bit. So I'm just going to draw that sort of coming off by his eye and then back behind his ear. All right, the top part of the mane. Now I'm going to come around here and I'm going to just really make this neck prominent. All right, so get a good line on the neck because we are going to do the rest of the mane in a second. So our horse's mane continues on behind the neck. And we're going to shade that so that it really looks like the rest of the mane in a little bit. But I just sort of have this wavy line going down the back of our horse's neck because his mane is sort of swooped over to the other side. We've got the mane. We're gonna do more of that hair later, but it's really starting to look like a horse now. We're getting there. We just got to draw in our ears. So for the ears, I want to take this line and I'm going to make a little point, and it's going to look more like a flower petal. It's going to connect. So we've got sort of this flower petal shape right there, but it's not the size of the entire oval that we drew because we still got to draw the outside of our ear here. So we've got the inside of the ear now. We can come around here and draw the outside of our horse's ear. So that's just kind of comes around. I'm mixing up my words today. All right, now we're going to go on to the other ear and essentially do the same thing, but this time this one is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little skinnier. That's the main difference, since this ear is further away and we can't quite see as much of it. So that petal shape is going to be a little bit smaller, just a little bit. I'm going to come down. We're going to do the outside. It's going to be sort of a larger outside. It's just going to come down like that. So there we go. We've got our two ears. We've got a really good outline going. We're doing good so far. We're doing good on time too. That now I want to work on our horse's little nostril over here. So you can't quite see this one. It's kind of over to the side, but you can see our horse's other nostril here. So we are going to draw a nice big old horse nostril, which looks pretty funny. It's just this big oval shape that we are going to shade in later on. And I'm not going to close it all the way. because you can kind of see that it doesn't quite, that it's not all the way darkened. I just wanted to make sure we got the horse nostril in, and then we want to come up here. So now this is just going to take a good estimate, looking at where you have the bump over here for where your horse's other eye is going to be. You can kind of guess where this eye needs to be. So our horse is going to have this very lemon, almost almond shaped eye, because horses have really cute sort of round eyes. There's just going to be a little bit of a line coming off of that. We can sort of draw in just a circle in the middle, and then you can shade it, but don't shade all the way to the top, because you want to leave a little bit of this reflection at the top of your horse's eye. So I'm going to leave, not going to shade it in all the way, just a little bit. Well, we got our eye now. I want to start to sort of draw some little things like where we're going to shade later on. So our horse here has sort of these lines in its face where the muscles are. So I'm doing these ever so slightly because they're not very dark or very prominent. So there's one. And then also, I totally forgot, if you want, you can draw the little white spot underneath your horse's mane where she's got sort of this white patch of fur, because I think that also makes her look super cute. Now, for me, I want to color in the ears because they look a little light to me. So I want to do some shading of our ears. Now, for the ears, we're going to sort of just darken the inside. The first buckle is going to be back here behind our horse's ear. Now it's going to come down, and around onto our horse's chin here. So this is the first line, the other part of our horse's little buckle. So it's going to come down and around like this. I look and we have another little metal part that's sort of looping back here. So I want to draw that little part circle, a little half circle coming out from back here. But I'm going to assume that we've got another little belt that is coming around this way. So, oops, I'm actually going to fix that line just a little bit. So we're going to have this other belt coming around our horse's mouth, like this. All right. All right, so there we go. Got our horse. Now, as I'm looking at this and I'm looking at our example, I kind of want to fix his nose just a little bit. You don't have to do this, but I want his nose to sort of stick out just a little bit more, because he's got sort of, you know how horses have those like big lips when they neigh and stuff. So I just want to make sure that I didn't make his nose too flat. There we go. I do want to make sure we fill in our nose. So I'm just connecting the nose all the way down to the bottom of the lip, and I'm just going to sort of fill this space in very loosely. It doesn't have to be all dark, but just shading it in ever so slightly. So for our horse's hair, she's got a dark mane. So with my pencil, I want to make lines that sort of follow the direction of the hair. So I'm just going to keep sort of filling in our horse's mane with lines that follow the direction of her hair. Beautiful. All right, then we can come around here and to do the mane on her neck, I'm basically going to be doing the same thing, but I'm going to be using curved lines starting from her neck and just going up like that. So we want those curved lines to go this way and just go up towards her mane. So I'm just going to do that all the way down. All right, I want to do some quick little shading before we go. Now, our horse is going to have some little shading down her nose like this. I want to make sure we include that just along the center of her nose. All right, well, there you go. We pretty much have it. Our little realistic horse. I know we didn't get to fill in the reins, but you can go through and you can darken them. And wherever there is shadow, you can shade. Where there's not going to be light hitting your reins, that's where you can make them a little bit darker. So anywhere around the buckles, you can make darker. Underneath our horse's chin, you can definitely make a lot darker. There we go. Like that. All right, and we are looking good. Yeah, all of this under here is going to be dark because it is under our horse's chin. All right, here we go. Okay, well, I think we've got it. Bye. Thank you so much for coming. Bye. You're so cute.